Feeders, welcome to yet another action-packed episode of Got Faded Japan, and I am your host, Johnny. And as you fine folks know, Got Faded Japan is about two dudes, booze, Japan, and the news. And Faders, this is episode number 686, and today we are really honored to have the man, the myth, the legend, a superhero in the music industry here in Japan on this show. We've got a legend, and I say this all the time, but this time I actually mean it. I'm freaking out. We're here with my friend, my best friend.
Bestest friend.
Darryl Baker. Darryl, welcome to the show, bro.
Cheers, brother.
And it's called Got Faded Japan, so we're actually getting faded. We had a couple of beers before the show, and now we got a six-pack of, Sapporo?
Sapporo, yeah.
Holy smokes.
The Gold Star.
What does the Gold Star stand for? What is it? I thought like Vietnam had like a star on their flag. So when I saw this, they do, right? So when I saw this beer for the first time, a long time, when I first came to Japan, I thought it was a Vietnamese beer. I was like, oh, that's cool.
But yeah, I don't know, man. Maybe it's the gold standard. The Gold Star is just like, it means number one, the best thing. Gold Star, you know, everybody gets the Gold Star when they're a kid. That's the best star you can get.
You should have 3 stars.
The gold, or 3... Or 5 gold stars.
5 gold stars. Yeah, Sapporo dropping the star.
We got a star, bro. Yo, man, we got 1 star. It's like it's out of 5. Man.
We got 1 star.
Fuck it doesn't matter. It's 1. We got 1. Like,
well, at least we got 1, right?
Wear it with pride. That's our new logo. We got 1 star.
Well, that's how we gauge our podcast. We're like, well, we got 1 star. We're good. We're good enough.
Well, now we're ripping. If we're gonna slightly rip on Japanese beverages, like the Strong Zero story that I have, I think is worth telling.
You got a Strong Zero.
Well, no, the name. Only the name.
It's name?
It's almost a dad joke, almost at this point.
Okay, well, I'm going to say something before you tell your story. We have a co-host, and I'm not going to say his name, but Tom is not allowed to drink Strong Zeros on this podcast ever again. I'm not going to say his name. I'm going to bleep that out, but Tom is not allowed to drink Strong Zeros ever again. Tom can never drink... Yeah, dude, we...
Strong Zero, man. It's a bad beverage.
Bad beverage. Okay, yeah, all right. So
man,
what's your story?
That's a bad beverage, man. No, but the Strong Zero thing to me is, you know, they couldn't, you know, you have like your scale. We were talking about 5 stars. You get your scale from 1 to 10 or 0 to 10 or whatever. Mm-hmm. And to me, it's a Strong Zero. It's almost 1. It's a Strong Zero. That's what I'd give it out of 1 to 10.
I never thought about that. I told you before the show we don't talk about math. I told you that. We were talking about taxes before the show, so I was like, whatever we do not talk about math or numbers.
You were talking about taxes.
I was. Yeah, well, I just paid them.
No. That was you.
Oh,
you're
dude.
like, I just did.
Oh, God. Dude, my stomach is going to start hurting in a second. Whenever I get stressed out, that's the new thing. When you get old, that's what happens. Thank God I'm drinking. This is my medication right here. Yeah, whenever I got a problem, I just drink.
Every day, hair the dog.
Yeah. Oh, man. I went to a show. Actually, I had a show last night, and oh, my God. Yeah, we got wasted.
You had an exhibit.
Oh, I didn't have an exhibition. I organized the AMP events at the Shibuya.
Oh, you had an AMP one? Oh.
Yeah, we had an AMP one, and it was like all like hardcore rock and roll bands and stuff. And
I've been to those.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. You performed one. Yeah, that's right. And anyway, yeah, one of my friends showed up and stuff, and he gave me a bottle of Jack Daniels. And I was like, oh, shit, this is awesome. Now I don't have to buy drinks, you know, even though I get them for free. But anyway, so like I was pouring that a little bit and I was getting kind of tipsy and I was like, holy shit, dude, I got to get rid of this. So I started like meeting my friends. I'm like, yo, Taka, come here. Poured them like a huge cup of like Jack Daniels. Everybody got wasted last night. I got wasted, but everybody got wasted last night.
That's a good night, man.
Yeah. I don't think anybody remembers.
That's a good place to get wasted.
Oh, yeah. It's so close to the station, too. That's like one of the beauties about that club. It's just you can walk to the station and not have to worry about anything, you know?
Oh, I didn't realize that. To me, it's kind of it's a funny location, that little area. I like it.
Oh, Dogenzaka? Yeah, it's got some history over there.
There's a couple of little bars nearby that are very interesting.
Yeah.
Late night. You got that like kind of smoke shop right next door. Sorry.
Oh, the head shop place or whatever. Yeah, dude, all the hippies hang out there. It's weird. Yeah, Dogonzaka is a weird part of Shibuya and stuff, but I enjoy it. It's pretty exciting. Anyway, faders, when you do come to Japan, or if you're in Japan, or if you ever want to come to Japan, hit me up and I'll invite you to one of my AMP events and stuff. We're always doing something twice a month. Oh, man. But I don't want to talk about my musical background. I want to talk about your musical background. I mean, you are the legend. I mean, holy smokes. I heard about you for like years before I met you. They're like, yo, I know this drummer named Darryl, man, this guy's amazing, or you got to know about this guy named Darryl, and I met you because I just bumped into you. How did I meet you? I met you at
I'm pretty sure I met
Fever Moon event.
I thought I met you at the Ruby Room, like well before that though. But it might have been at one of your AMP events as well. But I mean, as far as like knowing each other, we've had mutual friends for quite some time.
Yeah, we have 80 on Facebook. 80 mutual friends, which is weird because I have 81 friends on Facebook, and that one I think is my mom. You don't know my mom, do you?
Oh, wait a minute.
She's a lovely lady.
Wait, does she? No.
No, you probably don't know her. And if you do, I'm quite impressed. But yeah, man, so we got a lot of mutual friends, and yeah, and the coolest thing is I always bump into you at the weirdest and most interesting places.
I think the first time I saw you do live painting was at the Fever Moon show.
Oh, yes, in Shinjuku.
I believe so. I've always seen you at other places, but you weren't doing anything.
Yeah.
Like when you do the AMP events, you're just doing the event. You're not painting. So
I'm working, yeah.
But yeah, it could have been 5 years ago, 6 years ago, maybe.
Could have been. Met you. Could have been, yeah. I mean, I've been in Japan for like 20 years. How long have you been here?
9.
9 years?
9 years.
Wow. Yeah, well, you're over like a couple of the humps. You've got the 2-year hump, the 4-year hump, and then the 6-year hump. And then after that, yeah. The hump.
We'll say that.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, whatever. It's just weird. But, yeah. But, yeah, the strangest place where I've met you. All right.
Give it to me.
Okay, all right, here we go. All right, it was about like maybe 5 months ago, and my friend Reggie, who's been on the show, he had a birthday, so him and like 4 of my other friends from San Francisco that we all went to college together, we all got together for Reggie's birthday, and we had this beautiful big birthday for him in Roppongi, and we went to the steakhouse, and it was great. It was like, I think it was like his 50th birthday, so we had to go fucking all out for it, right? And anyway, after we had tons of food and tons of drinks, somebody in the party said, hey, I know this really cool underground jazz club. Like, it's really hard to get into. It's kind of a hush-hush. You got to know somebody to get in and stuff. It is crazy. And I'm like, okay, all right, cool. You know, I don't really know any jazz clubs or whatever in Roppongi, you know. I mean, I like jazz, you know. I mean, geez, Dizzy Gillespie, I mean, Miles Davis, love it, right? So anyway, so we go through these alleyways, these back alleyways of Roppongi, and we go up these stairs, down these stairs, up elevators. I mean, it was like almost like a game, right? It was like a video game from the 80s, you know. We're trying to find this place. So we find this place, and it's just a door with like this little peephole thing. And so he knocks on the door, and he like says like something, whatever, and then somebody looks through the peephole. It's almost like this 1920s speakeasy kind of thing. Yeah. And so anyway, the guy lets us in. It's like this huge dude. He lets us in, and my friend's like talking to him, and I'm like, holy shit, this is the real deal. And we go in there, and we walk in, and I look over, and I see a drum set on top of the bar, and you were up there drumming. And I was like, that's Darryl. I know that guy. Yeah. And then we came in, we got drinks with you guys, and you guys were playing jazz all night and stuff. And yeah, it was great.
I definitely remember that. That wasn't too long ago. That was maybe a month and a half ago at the most.
No, was it? Was it like
maybe
3 months
2
ago?
months?
I'm really bad with time and numbers. I don't know. It could have been yesterday.
I think it was within 2 months ago, I would assume. I mean, if it wasn't, I would be shocked. Yeah, but it wasn't that long ago.
I can find out. I can just call up Reggie and be like, hey, Reggie, when's your birthday? Last month? Got it, last month.
You don't remember it. You don't remember his birthday.
I don't remember Reggie's birthday.
But you'll definitely party with him on his birthday. That's all that matters.
Dude, I've known
Reggie. It's my birthday. We're fucking drinking. Like, I'm there.
I'll be there. No, I've known those guys since college, man. I've known since I was like, Cliff, the dude with the huge ears. Dude,
I don't remember that much.
You don't remember? Yeah. There was a lot of shots going around.
That gig is so late. So this gig, beautiful place, beautiful people.
Mm-hmm. So friendly.
Lounge in Roppongi. But this guy, he showed up with his friends, and it must have been late because you guys were pretty trash. And I know it goes till first train, if you don't know the expression in Japan, but like it's like 5 a.m. we stop playing music at the earliest. So yeah, you could have showed up at 2, 3 in the morning and been fucking half blitz, so I'm sure I was blitz at the time. So
I can't remember. No, I mean, there's so many drinks and so many shots, But
we have the rum. We have the rum that we might drink later.
We will drink that rum. All right, well, we got a 6-pack right here. Let's drink the 6-pack, and then after the 6-pack, then we'll go to the rum.
We're here to drink, people.
Oh yeah, Scott Faded Japan. They know.
He's got a list of questions here.
Oh yes, we're gonna have to get into the questions. Okay.
And I'm willing to answer these questions.
Okay. All right. So I got some generic questions and stuff. Darryl, you are kind of famous here in the Tokyo music scene. First off, how many bands are you in? I know you're in 2 bands or 3 bands.
I don't know if I'm famous, but maybe people know who I am.
Okay, everybody knows you and everybody loves you. So that means, isn't that the definition of famous?
I don't know, man. But
I'm infamous. I'm the opposite.
At the moment, I'm playing with about 7 different types of groups. Not necessarily like, am I in these bands? But yes, I'm playing with like 7 different outfits, I guess you could say.
Wow.
Like on a kind of regular basis. And then there's other things outside of that, but those are more rare.
I can't even imagine doing 2 podcasts. So, but how do you keep all the songs like in check? Like, how do you remember all the songs? Like, I mean, if you got one band that's doing like, let's just say Fever Moon is rock, and then like you've got the jazz band, and then you've got a couple other bands that may be fusion or something. Isn't it really difficult to like just remember all the songs? I mean, I couldn't even imagine. And keep in mind, I'm not a musician, so maybe it's an easy thing.
When you do it the way I do it, yeah, it's not done very well. I should probably do it a little bit better, but yeah, it's a chore. So, like sometimes I find myself not really being able to, I don't know, rise to the occasion, I guess you could say, but whatever. But it usually stems from not having enough time, and but that's where you have to learn how to like pick and choose what you're going to do and what you're going to play. So like there's some people that are very demanding, and and you might let down those people more than the people that aren't so demanding. But there's a balance, and you should always be ready to play in a professional way and stuff like that. But sometimes it's a lot more work than you're given time for, so you got to be careful. And I'm not saying that is somebody who's never ready or whatever like that, but sometimes you might think you're ready, but you didn't get all the opportunity to like work on something. So you gotta give yourself the time to be able to do multiple projects and shift from different genres and stuff like that. But as far as music is concerned, the music isn't really the issue. It's more just being able to give yourself enough time to shift and think about what you're doing for that night. It's enough time.
Okay. Yeah. Well, I mean, I can't imagine you making a mistake or anything like that, because the thing is, everybody has great things to say about you. I've never heard anybody say anything like, "Oh, Darryl, he played last night, but I don't know." Nobody's ever said that, dude.
I've had people say that to me, but
really, well, that means they're your friends.
Hey man, it's okay, man.
My friends love to talk shit about me in front of my face. I'm like, come on, guys, breaking my heart here. Come on. Oh man.
Most musicians are their own worst critics. So most artists in general. So
tell me about it. We already had that conversation.
Yeah, it's not something. It's not. I mean, honestly, it's not something you're gonna. You can take it to heart, but at the same time, it's like if somebody's giving you criticism, it's like you got to listen. Like you got to be like, okay, what are you feeling? Like if you don't understand where they're coming from, that's another thing. Like if it's just like, vindictive sounding, or it's like they just don't like me, or it's like that's different. But,
yeah.
But if you're not going full on, and like you're having a rough day, or like you're just not like you had a couple issues, whatever, with some song or something like that. You're like, fuck, I don't know. Those types of things happen, but how you take the criticism and how you deal with it and how other people deal with it is kind of just how the music world kind of stays gelled. Like some people don't gel, some people do.
You play in a lot of different genres. Which genre is like the most critical? Would it be jazz because it's so technical, or would it be rock because everybody's kind of drunk?
People are critical usually. It's not about genre or whatever it is that you're playing. It's more the like person to person type criticism. You know, and I've had a lot of guys that I've played with that have told me, you know, some really cool stories about some really big name people that they played with who've given them great criticism, who've given them great advice.
Oh yeah.
So there's always that stuff out there. So you have to be open to that stuff.
Oh yeah. I couldn't agree with you more. Yeah, I mean, the worst thing is actually really believing somebody when they blow smoke up your ass. You know, I mean that could definitely be, I mean, almost self-destructive if you believe that. You know, and yeah, that's why I don't believe that.
Well, I mean, to a point. It's nice to get praise, and it's awesome when people appreciate what you're doing for whatever reason it may be. But yeah, you know, some people are just trying to get close to you or trying to, I don't know,
get you on your podcast. Yeah, I know how that is.
Not like that. No. That's that. I mean, yes, you're joking, but it's a different. There is a difference. There are some people that even at the level that I would consider myself at, which is basically no level at all. Like, there's still people who are like trying to do things with you just because they think you're something. So it's an imagination situation. It's not like, you know, I'm sure a celebrity deals with this stuff 7, 10, 8-fold. Seriously, no, that's the thing. It's like people just are like imagining these people as somebody else, and they're like, I'm not. I'm just like, I'm just
an average Joe drinking Sapporo on a Saturday night.
But it's such a weird thing to kind of think about. But yeah, like you're one of the most famous people. I'm like, I'm not that famous, so
everybody loves this guy.
I could only imagine if I knew I was famous, nobody had to tell me or something like that, it would be very different. You'd be like, oh, okay. People are all over this place. Like,
yeah. Do you think you're famous when a famous person tells you that you're famous? Like if Brad Pitt, like, you know, he comes to Japan every so often. What if you're playing at the jazz club, and all of a sudden Brad's like, holy shit, you're Darryl. I saw you on Got Fit in Japan. You're like, oh shit.
No, that would be funny.
That would be funny, yeah.
That would be cool. I'd be like, Brad Pitt, man. Brad Pitt digs, I don't know. Obviously, it would be my voice because he saw me on this podcast. He hasn't seen me play. He's like, I'm just coming to see you play because I consider you an interesting dude just based on this podcast alone.
Oh my goodness! But
that would be amazing.
We do have a Brad Pitt, but it's Brad Pitt in Tennessee. Yeah, it's a completely different person, but he's a wonderful person. He's great, though. I love that guy. Thank you very much for tuning in.
And Brad, if you're there, if you're really there, and if you hear this, you gotta leave a comment or you gotta say something about what it was like growing up with that name, because I couldn't imagine. Brad Pitt my ass. You're like, no, it's my name, man. Like, they're like, yeah, bro.
Dude, I have one of those names.
True.
I have one of those names. Yeah, I get a lot of shit for my name.
True. You're just trying to steal his thunder.
Oh, God. No, he's not known for anything good anymore, dude. Could you imagine like in 1947, like a kid that was born and his name was Adolf Hitler? You know, he's like, could you imagine that? Oh no, it wouldn't be 1947. It'd probably before that, like 1936 or whatever. He's like 14 years old. He immigrates somewhere, and they're like, so like he's in school in America, and the teacher's like, okay, so we Douglas Smith here.
It would be worse
Joe
if he was
Johnson.
If he was born in the 20s, it would be worse if he was actually like doing shit.
Oh no! If he was like the real Hitler, I meant some.
He's like in his 20s and like the war started. You're like, oh fuck.
Oh yeah. Oh,
it's like this guy named Adolf. You're like, that's my fucking name.
Oh God, I don't even know how to change a name. Everybody called me Buck Rogers.
It's like all the Karens now. They're like, yeah, my name's Karen, but I'm not that fucking Karen.
Yeah.
They're like,
it's Karen with a C, not a K. Okay.
They'll just have to be fucking more gangster and fucking get some black in them and change Karen to a Q, like a QU or something.
Oh,
My name's Karen. My name's Karen.
I guess you could do that.
Yeah, I would do it.
If I was a girl and my name was Karen, I would just like be like, oh gosh, I got to be nice in every situation. Every situation. Somebody cuts me off on the road, I'm like, it's okay, don't worry, you go ahead.
Queranne. Karen.
Kieran.
So it would look like Kieran, but it would be Karen. Because people would be like, oh, you're like, it's Karen. It just looks weird. You've never seen those names?
I would just change. No, I know what you're saying. I would just change my name. I'm like, just call me Stephanie.
Call me Butch.
But call me Butch. I don't know. Okay, call Butch is. Dude, nobody named Butch is like a nice person. Have you ever? Hey, my name is Butch. You're like,
Are you namist?
I am a namist. Dude, do you know my name? Dude, I get so much shit for my name all the time. I'm a namist.
Your name is super. It's one of the most generic names, John.
Yes, my birth name is, yeah.
But I mean, of all the names in America, or in male American names, like John is one of the most used or known. Michael, these things. These
yeah,
names.
yeah. John,
Mine is
Bob, Joe, Darryl.
Mine's not on that list.
Oh, Daryl's a cool name. Well, what's a bad name? Butch. There we go. Butch is a bad name. Don't name who would name their kid Butch? Who would do that? So it's like
I don't know if
the kid comes out. They're like, looks like a Butch. Fuck.
I don't know if anybody. I mean, that might be surely a nickname. Maybe Butch Cassidy. Oh. I don't think his name was Butch though. It's probably Randolph Williamson Reed.
Maybe Cassidy. It was Hitler.
He's like, call me Butch.
His name's Hitler. He's like, oh god, my name's Hitler. Everybody call me Butch. It's my new nickname.
Well, his name's just Adolf. Like Adolf Williams Cassidy. You're like, but the goddamn. I can't.
Yeah. That's a bad.
But that was way before Hitler. Cassidy's way before that.
Oh, jeez. Okay. All right. So
we've gone to the Wild West.
Yeah, we're way off the tracks.
Question 1.
Well,
beer 2.
Beer 2. Well, no, that's beer 3 for these.
Oh, actually,
okay.
yes, you're right.
Yeah. Okay. Okay, how did you get into music? If we're going to go generic.
Ooh. How did I get into music?
Yeah.
Well, I guess because I play the drums primarily, I guess it would be more how did I get into the drums? Because getting into music started a long time ago.
Yeah, I think getting into drums is probably a better question.
But I started playing the drums, I guess, mainly to have some kind of access to playing music, which I wanted to do a few times before that, but super young age, like 8 years old, playing, taking guitar lessons and not really liking it because it hurt my fingers. But as an alternative to swimming, I wanted to do something just for myself, like something to do when, because I couldn't really do a lot of shit. Basically, I didn't have a lot of free time. So I took up drumming, and my mom had told me, like, you're not going to get a drum set unless you take some drum lessons. So I took some little drum lessons, and then by the time they had taught me some beats or whatever, I told my mom I was ready. I'm ready. Let's do this shit. Let's get that drum set. She's like, you think you? And the teacher's like, you could probably get them like this cheap drum. I was like, she got me the cheapest one. I learned how to play on the cheapest drum set. Hi-hat was broken 2 weeks later. Like, just whatever. So I just busted it out, started playing on my own, and that was when I was 14, around that time. But I just kept playing to play. Like, I don't know. I always thought the music was more like just a kind of a jammy, camaraderie type thing. But the better you get at it, the more it turns into conversations with people that like you can actually enjoy. If you're actually good enough to think while playing and understand music enough where you can go in and out of different genres and stuff like that. Those types of things actually kind of drew me more into it. So I just didn't stop the hobby, so to speak. So yeah, but playing like for bands and stuff didn't start until actually I stopped swimming. So that was like mid 90s and stuff like that. I started playing in bands more often. Even though I had bands before that, I didn't really take them too seriously. But yeah, playing music in bands was mid 90s. Writing music, it's been like that ever since, pretty much.
Wow, that's awesome. That was the golden age of like rock and roll, like grunge. When it went from like heavy metal, like I mean, it was like, I mean, heavy metal was so big. Like for example, I mean, you had the hair bands, like I mean, you had Guns N' Roses, you had Poison, Warrant, and all that stuff, and then Nirvana came out, and then boom, everything just changed. So you were there right in the middle of that, you know, going from one genre to the next. Were you playing that kind of music at that time, or were you into jazz?
No, I didn't really. I wasn't really fond of grunge when it came out because at the time I was a little bit more into. I guess I was getting more into like serious prog music.
Oh wow!
Because I was through like the late '80s, early '90s. Like I had already transitioned out of like doing like the early stuff with like punk and classic rock and like kind of simple stuff that gets you into drumming. Like I started moving into more difficult musicians and difficult stuff by that time. So I was really listening to a lot of different crazy shit. And, you know, I'm a really big fan of the Grateful Dead and stuff like that, as you know. Mm-hmm. So I like a lot of jam and jazz and, you know, things like when you start to listen to things like Mahavishnu Orchestra, things change as a musician. You're like, this shit's like insane. Like these guys are on a whole nother level. But at a young age, when you're just getting started doing what you're trying to do, you're like thankful for those types of influences because you're like, it can't get much better than this. These guys are the best musicians in the world. They just happen to be playing fucking wild ass shit that's actually intriguing to a young person where it's just fucking, you're like, woo. They're just on fire, but you're like, they were young too when they were playing this shit. They're still able to do it and they do it, but they did it when they were younger. So it's like young jazz was like a huge thing for me when I was in that era of the 90s. So the grunge stuff was not as exciting, but it was all around me.
Yeah.
So it's kind of hard not to know these songs. And I guess it's interesting because I always had this idea in my head where it's like, yeah, if I hear songs on the radio and like they're very hard to forget. Like they're super catchy and you know, that was always something that was kind of interesting. But it still takes work to get through that and be able to play. But being in that era wasn't something that I really like to focus on musically. But now, I'm glad I grew up with it because people want it. Again, it's like, now it's like classic rock to some people. And I'm
weird? I was talking to a guy that you want to hear. No, it's okay. I was talking to a guy about what were we talking? We were talking about Netflix. What, did Josh show up? Yeah, she's right. So
she's here somewhere.
She's hanging out.
She was crunching before, but she'll be back.
Yeah, she'll be back. She's just chilling. But whatchamacallit, I was talking about Netflix and I brought up Elvis, like the new Elvis movie, you know? And I was like, my God, that Elvis movie's crazy. And he's like, yeah. And I'm talking to this dude. He's a Japanese dude that's older than me, right?
Yeah.
And we're talking about it and stuff. And then he didn't know that was like a real movie, like Elvis was a real person. And I'm like,
what?
Yeah, I know, right? I'm like, wait.
What did he think Elvis was?
I don't think he knew of Elvis.
Oh, okay.
I guess he grew up. He lived his whole life up to like today.
Like, Elvis isn't a real person.
No. Elvis is real.
He's Jesus. He's like Jesus. Nobody could tell. I'm like,
no.
He's nice as a dude.
A lot of people think Jesus is real. I don't know, but
well, I mean, but like,
but it's so long ago. I know, but yeah, he didn't know that Elvis is a real person. He just thought it was like a movie, right? So I was like, yeah, no. I mean, Elvis was a real person, and this movie. Yeah, isn't that weird? I couldn't believe it.
That's interesting.
I thought everybody all over the world, mostly all over.
I guess we're old enough to believe that, but I guess it isn't true.
That's weird.
That kind of takes me back to that one thing with there was a text string that was like a meme or something, but it was basically about, I think, Kanye and Paul McCartney did like some song together.
Did they really?
Or they said they were going to do it, or maybe he did something with Kanye on an award show or something like that. So
I could see it happening.
Paul McCartney and Kanye, I think it was Kanye, did something, and people were commenting like, oh man, Kanye's going to blow up. It's going to fucking blow up this guy, Paul McCartney. I was like,
oh no,
like, they thought, like,
way.
They thought like Kanye was doing Paul McCartney a favor for like doing something with him. I was like, bro.
Oh no, are you serious?
Literally, like I don't know if it's real. It could be some fucking AI bot bullshit where people just making up conversations. But it was fucking hilarious because I was like, this is so funny that people have no idea who Paul McCartney is, but they love Kanye. They're like, dude, all I know is whoever the fuck Paul McCartney is, man, he got fucking the hookup. I was like,
Oh no!
whoever he is, I'm like, whoever he is.
Who is Paul McCartney?
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah. Who's Paul McCartney anyway?
I mean, we're only dealing with like, top 40 hits. Like, who's Paul McCartney? Like, kind of one of the originators of the format we're listening to. It's like they're the reason why they created this shit.
Yeah,
we want to keep hearing this type of stuff over and over and over again.
Revolutionized
the Beatles
music.
were the first people who were like in that type of shit, banging it out, man.
Could you imagine the world without the Beatles?
No.
That would be everything would be different. We'd probably be listening to like. We'd probably be listening to Rush.
That I don't
I'm
think.
joking.
That I don't think would happen. But I can't imagine a world without the Beatles, just because the Beatles basically are kind of like how people see themselves as celebrity in music. Like they're like, oh, I'm gonna be big, like people are gonna want to see me and people are gonna be crowding me and I'm gonna have to have protection. Like that's kind of how they see celebrity.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Because they're one of the first, like I was saying, like they're like the first band that like was doing that type of like super promotion. Like people were pushing them like crazy. Plus they were talented as fuck. So like you can't.
Oh yeah.
You can't deny that aspect of it. But they were like right time, right place, right people.
Yeah, it was crazy.
They had top 40 before. They had rock and roll before, but it wasn't like that. Elvis was before that. He wasn't even like that.
Yeah, they would get off the airplane and people would be freaking out. Like, God, I wonder if that's ever going to happen to podcasting. Probably not.
But you could make it happen.
You could, faders. If all of you just told one person about Got Faded Japan.
There's one. Mm-hmm. And that one tells another one, which means there's now 3 of you.
Is that a Ponzi scheme or?
That is.
Or domino effect.
You don't want to talk about this. That's
Ponzi scheme.
Mathematics.
My accountant wants to have a meeting with me on Monday, and I'm so worried. Maybe he just wants to have coffee. I don't know. I have no idea. Yeah, okay, let's not talk about that. But yeah, going back to the Beatles, the Ringo Starr, dude, that guy was an incredible drummer. I mean, speaking of like a basic drum set, I mean, if you see that guy, I mean, like the early Beatles, he just had a basic drum set, right? Now, I don't know much about music, right? But you see that drum set, and then you see like the beats and the music that he's producing, you're like, that's pretty good. Pretty good.
I mean, you got to listen to it. I mean, to me, it's not exceptional. It's good.
At the time, though. Would that be good? Or?
There's stuff that he does that's great, actually. That some of the stuff that he does, I think, is fucking badass. But not all of it. I mean, it's just what it is. But I think the interesting thing that I think people get kind of caught up in with Ringo Starr is that he's actually a left-handed drummer playing on a right-handed kit, so he plays things very differently than people approach, music with. Like, they just wouldn't do it that way, and it's because he didn't physically do it that way. Like, that was just the way he played. So I'm like, you got to play like him, first of all. But I'm not saying he will tell you he's not the best drummer, but it's not about it's not a competition. It's not who's the best drummer. That's why people really like what he does. I'm like, because he does what he does, and he does it in a tasty way. Like, that's what matters. So if you want to play a Beatles song as a drummer, you got to pay attention to how he's doing it, because that's one of the best ways to do it. Other people want to fuck with it or do things, and they want you to play it heavier or rockier or whatever. I'm like, yeah, but what he's doing is how it should be done, I think. Because I'm kind of a purist in that type of stuff. Like, I like it to be done the right way, but it's just there's so many rock songs and so many pop songs that are super popular that you can't play them the same way and have people enjoy them live. They just, without all the right microphones and setup, it just doesn't work. So you end up playing things differently. And that is kind of your interpretation.
That's really cool.
So to me, there's no competition. Ringo Starr does what Ringo Starr does. And I'm sure if he played it again, he would probably play it very, very similar, if not exactly the same. And somebody would need to be miking his shit up to make it so it's possible to do that in a huge arena when he was doing it in a small studio. Like, Come Together is a perfect example of something like that, where you listen to the drums, it's like they're not loud, they're not aggressive, they're soft. You can tell they're muffled. You can't really pull that off live easily. It's just like, it's got to be a chill situation where people can allow that the drums are that soft and quiet. they're not the loud part of the song. Like the bass is louder and just as aggressive as that. So it's hard to get that kind of a mix. But people don't want to hear that. Bands don't want to hear that. So many people don't want to hear that. I want to hear that, but drummers very often don't get what they want. So I don't fight that fight anymore.
Are you saying the drummers are the guy in the band that gets kind of pushed around?
Oh.
Well, all right. I want to talk about drumming.
All you drummers out there, comment below. Tell me what you think. Because I know what you fucking think.
We never say that. We do. You got to be a part of the podcast. Yeah. Comment below. We never do that. We just get drunk and talk shit.
No, I want to know what people say, man. Because, well, I mean, if people don't want to comment, but if you have an opinion on this matter,
comment below.
I would say your opinion is something that I would like to read.
Awesome.
I'm getting into it, man. I'm getting him uncomfortable. He's like, fuck, we got wars. We got people fighting online.
I love that. I love that kind of stuff. But I want to talk a little bit more about drumming and stuff. Like I've got friends that are drummers. Well, actually, I know a lot of people that drum. And the thing is, like, they usually hold the drumsticks like this, like rock and roll style, right? And I just saw Anvil.
Match group.
Yeah, like this, I guess, match style.
It's called
match group. But, I saw Anvil. I saw the band, Anvil, Canadian heavy metal band. Mm-hmm. Yeah, the lead singer, Lips, good friend of mine, really cool guy, awesome band, faders. Look up Anvil, listen to Anvil. Anvil fucking rocks. If you could see them live, well worth it. Great show. But anyway, I saw them live, and the drummer, Rob, he was holding the drumsticks, because I was there, and I was, like, sober for half the show, because I like to be, like, sober, and I kind of, like, sip on a beer for, like, half the show, and then after like, they take a little break or whatever, and they're talking, I'm like, I am going to get drinks. So, anyway,
because
I noticed...
sober's overrated, that's what.
Well, I like to drink. I like to get faded is how I roll. So anyway, but he was holding the drumstick, one like rock style and one like jazz style, like this.
Yeah, traditional grip. Yeah.
Is this traditional style like this?
Yeah, if you use your snare hand, in your like middle fingers, like here. So
like he's holding it like that.
It's almost like it's sideways compared to this. So
okay, cool. So yeah, that's how he was like holding. Yeah, exactly. I think that's maybe opposite,
like
but yeah,
traditional.
That's traditional style.
And I think it's out of. I think it probably bore itself out of just style of where the drum was when people were playing it, like marching band style. Like they're playing the drum low down here.
Yeah.
So, like playing it like this wouldn't be able to get good sound. Mm-hmm. So turning your stick this way gives it easier. So if the drum's facing you this way, and you have to play it like this, it's not going to be very easy. So I'm sure it came out of necessity more than anything else. But,
okay, wow.
But it's definitely a much more powerful way of playing with your left hand.
Okay, yeah.
To me. But playing with your right hand like that, strategically, like, it's like... It's hard. Like, you got cymbals over here, so you need extension with this hand. You need extension with at least one hand. But this, because you can't get a lot of extension holding the stick like this. But you get a lot more power.
I get it now. Okay. Yeah. So, like, when I see a lot of bands, I see a shit ton of bands here in Tokyo. Most people hold the drumsticks like how children hold, like, forks and knives. You know, like, they just grab it, right?
But it's not that...
Cool.
Hardcore. Not that... I don't know, diabolical. It's not that fucking...
They're like this! They're just banging shit. No, but seeing him play like that, it's heavy metal. It was...
But you need like a pendulum. You need some kind of a pivot point. Uh-huh. So, like, you don't hold it like in your hands like this. You hold it more in your fingers.
Really?
Usually, when you play... It's not like you can hold it like this. You can have control with all your fingers, and that's one way of doing it. And it creates a different type of sound with the hit. But if you want to bounce, you got to let go of that thing, and you need a pivot point to do it.
Oh, okay.
So you're not holding very tightly when you're playing the drum.
Anyway, I watch a lot of bands where the drummer plays like Animal from like the Muppets. So
yeah, even when you're playing it heavy, like you'll just hurt your hand over time. Like, it'll be way too strong. If you're playing every night and you're like gripping, there's no fucking way.
Really?
You need to relax. Like, you'll fuck up your hand, man.
Jesus. Okay, well,
How many times as you're beating the fuck out of the drum? Like, if you're holding it like your wrist would just be fucked, dude.
Well, I'm so glad you're here to tell me about this, man. That's interesting to know. So
Sorry about the cursing, everybody.
It's Got Fit in Japan. Yeah, it's not really a family episode.
What did you call them? Got the fit. What is it? What are they called? The people, your audience.
Oh, our faders.
Faders.
Yes, they're faders. So
what are faders?
Faders are people that listen and watch Got Fit in Japan. Yes,
Okay,
they're basically our people. And Got Fit in Japan is basically two dudes booze Japan in the news. We talk about the news. In this case, you're the news. And getting faded means having drinks and hanging out with your friends. And that's what we're doing right now. We're all a bunch of friends hanging out, and we're learning about playing the drums. And actually, for everybody that's listening to the podcast, you should definitely go to YouTube and watch what we're talking about, because that will make sense. Because for all the people that are just listening, they're driving their car being like, what the fuck are they talking about? Holding it like this and holding it like that doesn't make any sense to me. I'm driving a car. Yes. Just go to the YouTube page and watch it on YouTube, and then you'll figure it out that you're supposed to hold it like this and not like this.
Yeah, don't go now.
If
you're driving, don't do it.
And don't be drinking and driving, okay? Because a lot of people listen to the show and they drink, right? So they're drinking with us while they're watching.
You might spill your drink. So
no, don't drink and drive. Skateboards are bad. Roller skates are bad. Rollerblades are bad too. Yeah, just be stationary when you listen to Got Fit in Japan.
He's giving you the adult way of thinking about it. So.
I got to. I think legally I have to.
I'm trying to tell you jokes, man. But yes, you might spill your drink as well as get arrested. So.
Oh man.
You choose which was worse. You choose.
Like 99 ways to die. Choose one. Oh man. All right. So you grew up in Ohio. You moved to New York, and here you are in Tokyo. So did you play music all the way through? Did music kind of like make you move? Like where you're playing music in Ohio, and you're just like, dude, I got to go to New York. I know that's the place. And then no.
It didn't go that way. I started playing music in Ohio, yes, but it definitely didn't turn into like I'm trying to travel around the world to do this music thing. No, music didn't have any real pull for me as far as like a career or something to do, as far as like moving and things like that. It's never had like the pull for me, but I did always look for outlets to play wherever I moved. Mm-hmm. And I knew that was going to be part of what I was doing. The only one that was a little bit different, I think, was probably when I first... Well, it's only really been 2 cities since I really started playing music, I guess. I mean, I started playing music in Ohio, but then I went to college in Arizona. So that's when I kind of started playing more music. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, when you're in college, yeah.
But then from Arizona, I went to New York. But when I went to New York, you know, it's interesting. Like, I was playing a lot of music in Arizona. Mm-hmm. And it just wasn't, it just didn't feel like it was working for me, or it didn't feel like it was something that I wanted to think about so much as far as a profession, just because it was a struggle, I guess, more than anything else. Like, it wasn't that was like my profession. Like, I played music and I did a lot of music, but even then I was probably playing in like 7 bands, you know. Stuff like that.
Nothing changes.
But I wasn't making any kind of real money, so I was working like these odd jobs and stuff like that. So I ended up getting another degree and then moving to New York so I could get a job to support my artistic habits.
You're talking to a painter. Trust me, I know.
But that was the reason. That was the catalyst to move to New York. It wasn't, I want to play more music. Actually, I quit playing music when I moved to New York for like 3 months, and then... You
quit playing music in New York?
Well, I was like, I got to get a job. I got to fucking do something. I got to,
support yourself, pay the rent.
I got to figure out how I'm going to make this work. If I'm going to continue to play music or do art or any of this type of stuff, I got to make money. Yeah. And I wasn't making enough money being a musician and doing staging and working at coffee. That just wasn't working for me. So the music thing wasn't panning out, even though, yeah, it's supposed to be a struggle. You could keep doing it. I was like, I wasn't playing in like a band that was like on the cusp of making it. Like, I didn't have a band like that when I left Arizona. So I was just playing like cover bands and stuff like that, like in some random stuff. So it was never a main reason why I moved anywhere. Like, when I moved to Japan, like, Japan was just like, I just want to get the fuck out of New York. And I liked Japan, and I had been here a bunch of times, and it was more about just changing cities to like do something else. But I knew I could play music here too.
Oh yeah,
it's always been something that's been important, but not necessarily the thing I've been focused on. But I definitely give a fuck about music. That's for sure.
Oh, absolutely. I know.
It's a huge part of my life. So
I think that's all we talk about whenever. Well, actually, we talk about the Midwest a lot of the time.
I don't know. I mean, I don't know if you can see it how I see it. Like, it's difficult, man. It's not I have other things I can do. Mm-hmm. So it's hard to just be like, I'm going to put all my eggs in this basket.
Yeah, it's tough to do that. Putting all your eggs in one basket. I envy people that can do that. For me, I love organizing music events and art exhibitions, and I love paint. I mean, I'm a painter. I mean, it's in my blood. I'm an artist. That's it. But it's just like I love doing these other things. And I think that's what is it? Is spice? Is it spice? Is the essence? Of, no, that's Dune. That's Dune.
You're going to Dune.
I'm going too deep,
we need
man.
to get all the spice. This is funny as shit, dude.
Why do we drink too much?
No.
Let's keep it going, though. Okay, no. Spice is the variety of life? Is that what it is?
Yeah, it is. That's the saying.
Like, to do a lot of different things in life is actually a good thing that makes your life more flavorful. Oh, there's there's like tens of thousands of people listening to this being like, it's spice is the variety of life, you fucking idiots. Put the beer down and pick up a book. There's probably so many.
I don't know the exact quote.
But
I think that's close.
It's close enough.
The sentiment is there.
Yes,
I understand what you're saying. I know what you're saying.
The heart is in the words, not how they're said.
I don't think that's a saying.
I just made it up. I love podcasting with my friends. This is the best thing.
So, can we take a break because I gotta take a piss?
You got it. Yeah. Well, we also got that rum in the back. Let's take a little break, faders. We're gonna take a little break. Listen to our sponsors. We've got amazing sponsors, support our sponsors, and we do have 2 more beers, and we've got the rum. We break open that rum, dude. It's gonna be a different podcast. I gotta focus on my question.
It'll be the same podcast.
Oh boy,
it'll be more gentlemanly because we're drinking rum.
Oh, we'll see. All right, faders. We'll see you in a second. Peace. Whoa! Look at all this. Hey, what's up? I'm Johnny, a.k.a. The Spilt Ink, the one and only, and today I'm going to make a popsicle painting. I'm really excited to do this. I've got all my paints here. It takes about this much paint to make a popsicle painting, and I've got my 2 other most important ingredients. Very strong hot coffee. Oh, actually, that's not that hot, but still, it's strong coffee. And I've got punk rock music. With these 2 things, nothing could go wrong. All right, with that said, let's rock. We are back, faders. I hope you enjoyed our sponsors as much as we enjoy supporting them. Our sponsors are so cool. Soul Food House, Harry Sandwich Company, Mitsuya, The Spilt Ink, and 8 Stars American Bar in Fukuoka. Yes, support all of our sponsors. And yes, speaking of sponsorship, let's sponsor our drinks. Does it make sense? It doesn't make sense. See, that's what
doesn't make sense.
It does,
but
kind of.
We went to the store and got a bottle of the Havana Club 7-year.
Ooh, 7 years.
7 years.
Okay, should I say when or?
No, I got you.
I gotta drive.
There we go.
So joking. I'm joking. I'm joking.
No,
Drinking and driving is so bad.
Oh shit! I just spilled a little bit.
That's okay. My place usually smells like alcohol.
There we go.
All right.
This is to Moritaki-san.
Kanpai.
Cheers.
Cheers.
He turned me on to this rum.
It's really good.
I like the Ron Zacapa Guatemalan rum.
Yeah, Guatemala.
23 years age, but it's not. It's like the same price as this.
Yeah,
but it's my favorite rum.
I like spicy rum.
It's a little sweet and spicy. But yeah, shout out to Duffy Fron. For turning me on to that.
Yeah, this is good stuff. I'm really glad we picked up these rocks in here, dude. Oh my god. Yeah, I checked my freezer. I have no ice. I have zero ice in my place.
It's
now,
a common
that's like
thing
really,
in Japan, man.
Yeah, no, I mean, well, the rice.
They sell the tiny cube things,
Yeah,
which
well,
cracks me up.
yeah.
I'm like, who? What the? Okay.
Yeah, no. But if you go to the liquor store by my place, yeah, I mean, these rocks are huge. I mean, God, could you imagine if these were diamonds? Woo!
Diamonds are forever. But I think the ice that he gave us when he said, "Oh, we don't have any more."
He said
Small
no more of the
bags.
small bags.
And
Yeah.
then he came out with that small bag. I was like, yeah.
Sorry, I only have the big bag. So, okay, we go to the local liquor store. It's like a liquor store. It's not a convenience store. And we got rum. We got a 6-pack of beer, some other beers. And anyway, we bought ice, right? And I almost said rice. I'm so fucking terrible. So anyway, we bought ice. And the guy said, we're out of small bags.
We're out of small bag. Because you said, can we get like just a smaller one? Or like this, we don't want a big one. We didn't want a lot of ice.
I thought a big bag would be huge. Usually they're huge. and basically...
you dig down into pull it up. You get a fucking hole. It's like a fucking big shitload of ice.
It's massive, right? Yeah.
You go to the gas station and say, "Dude, fucking, you got ice, man."
Yeah.
This was in a Ziploc bag.
Yeah. This is
not
like
even the biggest Ziploc bags.
It's like a Ziploc. What is a Ziploc bag? Right? It was like that. It was like this. It was like the
That's
size
the
of.
biggest one they had. I was like,
It was smaller than a baseball mitt.
I knew.
It was like he's like, here you go. It's a big bag. Be
Ooh.
careful.
Ooh.
I was like, okay.
You can't handle this much ice.
And then I said, can I get a bag to put this bag of ice in, please?
You can't handle the ice.
You can't handle the vibe. Yeah. Oh man. Okay. Back to drumming. Okay. So. Okay. Okay. Now, this is an interesting question. Okay. Is it easy or difficult to drum in Tokyo? Because, all right, and this is a dynamic question, because the thing is it easy because all bands are constantly looking for new drummers? Or is it difficult to be a drummer in Japan because these apartments are very small and the walls are paper thin, so if you're a drummer, you can't drum at home. You have to actually go to a studio and rent a sound studio to practice drumming, right?
Yes, that's a split question. I'll answer the second question.
Split question, yes. I said dynamic question. Dynamic sounds cooler, right?
I'll ask the second question first. And yes, that's a challenge, not being able to play in an apartment and things like that. That definitely is something that puts a damper on the fact that you have to pay to practice for the most part. Unless you have a house and you can, do that. But that's rare. And, a lot of drummers that make money, they probably have something like that. That's fine. And the ideal thing would be to have something like that, like when I was in the States. Of course, that's much easier. But here, yes, it's a challenge. But as far as, is it easier to be a drummer here based on getting gigs and talent? I mean, that, I would say, yeah, it's easy to get gigs in Tokyo, especially. I've only really lived in Tokyo, so I can't really speak for other cities, but I would say, yes, that's a pretty easy thing to do from my experience. I don't see drummers that are, just getting started and, you can tell they're just getting started, that maybe they haven't played out that much, and their sense of, control is not as, advanced or whatever like that. Like, they're just beginning musicians. Like, they play often in Tokyo. So it's obvious that, yeah, there's an outlet for that as well. Like, there should be in any city or any environment, because I think that's how you kind of learn how to be a good live musician. Like, you don't really learn, at home with that type of stuff. You got to play in front of people. You got to play with bands. You got to play with different people. You got to really broaden your horizons, because being a live musician is very different than being even a studio musician. Being a studio musician, yes, is similar, because you're going to play with a lot of different people, but it's a little bit more advanced as far as musicianship. You're not going to play with a bunch of amateurs as a studio musician. It's just probably not going to happen.
You'd be tighter.
Yeah, when you're playing with amateurs and people who are just getting started, people who may be super creative, but they're not quite at the advanced level of musicianship, like those people need help from people who understand music. So you gotta be willing to be open and things like that, because you're not always going to be playing with the most advanced musician. But there's always an outlet in a big city, and this city is no different.
That's interesting. Yeah, it just seems like there's just so many more guitar players than there are drummers. Guitar players, bass players, singers, and stuff. And so many bands are like just asking me, like, "Hey, Johnny, do you know of a drummer?" And I'm like, "I do, but he's a pro, so you probably don't want him. He's gonna make you look bad."
You don't want him. That's fucked up, man.
Yeah, but isn't it?
You don't want him.
Yeah, like if somebody's too good, you don't want them, right?
You guys suck.
Exactly. Like if you go up there and you're like, and someone's like, yeah, we're still practicing Stairway to Heaven. You know?
I mean, honestly, I can't. I don't know, man. I get it. I get that type of thinking, but I don't think it's a great thing for the music industry, because as musicians go, yes, there are better talented people from the get-go, but there are people who actually have talents beyond just being a great musician. They can write better, they can compose, they have creative ideas that maybe other people who are just musicians don't really think about. So they got to work hand in hand. So to me, like, you never know, just because somebody's not, I don't know, technically the greatest musician. I'm like, I don't even know what the fuck that is. Like, because there's a lot of technical musicians. There's a lot of musicians that can do all sorts of crazy shit, and it's amazing to watch if you're a musician.
Yeah.
Especially if you're a musician, you're just like, fuck that guy or that chick. Woo. Like, but it's just like, what are you gonna do, man? Like you're like, they're just on fire, like that. But they don't do everything. They can never do everything. The one person doesn't do everything. So there's other people that do things that you got to pay attention to just as much as these people that are virtuosos and all that stuff. But to me, the biggest challenge for me is being able to give those people a platform and keeping them in the spotlight, because those are the actual musicians. I worry more about the fact that musicians don't get exposure at all. Like, people kind of...
Oh, you're going deep with this one, dude.
Well, that's my biggest concern. Not what type of music or how good you may be. It's just the fact that, like, there's people who are actually playing this stuff. And they're not just pressing buttons and, sampling some other... Like, it's not...
Oh, yeah.
That type of stuff is not really where I focus my energy. I always try to keep people knowledgeable of the fact that this is a sample of a song that came out in 1978. And people are like, what? I'm like, I make sure that I tell people when I know. I tell people, I'm like, no, man, you can't ignore that shit. Not cool.
All right.
It's not cool.
I completely agree with you. I absolutely do. But what I was kind of like going at is like Eddie Van Halen in his prime playing for a Nirvana cover band. Like, he's going to be, like, kind of bored, right? He's like, what? Okay, all right, we can kind of do these kind of songs. Something like that,
Well, I mean, if you look at it that way, there probably is an Eddie Van Halen type motherfucker playing in a band that wants to play Nirvana. And he's like, fuck this shit, man. He's like, I know my fucking parents are into this, but, like, because now, yeah.
No, like, skill level.
Trust me, that kid's parents are into Nirvana. There's kids right now whose parents grew up with Nirvana in the 90s
like
and
me.
shit like that. Yeah. And they're fucking 14. You could have a 14-year-old kid in a heartbeat. And they're like, fuck this shit. They're like, I like it, but I want to do something different. Like, and to me, that is something that kid has to figure out, because he's like, but if I do something different, it's not going to fit somewhere.
Yeah.
Everybody's trying to fit in some way, and I feel like that's the problem with music these days. Is like, you're trying to fit in, and you're not trying to be somewhat creative with art, with the things that are already there, which is kind of how music has kind of evolved over time. Like, it just keeps using the past to create the future. Like, right now, we're kind of, I don't know, I don't want to say it in like a negative way or make it sound like a negative thing, but it's almost like we're kind of stuck in this electronic dance loop from the 90s, from like the New Jack Swing era, where it's like hip hop took over. Not that I have any disrespect for hip hop, I love that shit, but it's like we can't get out of that big beat type phase and back towards like musicianship. Even like the stuff that like Kendrick Lamar's coming up with is way more interesting to me than like regular hip hop. But like he doesn't have to do much, like just one album here and there. Everybody's gonna like it whenever it comes out. But I'm like, he's doing shit that's super advanced with musicians, but nobody's really thinking about it that way because it's just hip hop.
Well, the thing is, the pendulum swings both ways
It's swinging
regarding artwork, regarding fashion, regarding even like styles of movies. Everything goes back and forth and stuff. I mean, even the stock market, to be honest. And the thing is, it's just like, I mean, eventually it's going to go back into something that's going to be more like a point in time where, like, I think a lot of people are going to be more experimental. I mean, if you go back to like the late 70s to early 80s, all right, and the mid 70s, a lot of people don't know this, but the most popular music actually wasn't disco at that time. It was like fucking folk music. Like the top 40 music like was like folky kind of shit, right? And the thing is, like, the punk stuff was big. I think it was bigger after the fact. You know, the Sex Pistols, when they came out, they weren't like huge or anything. I think they got big and more popular after they broke up years later. But the thing is just like the post...
The end of the Sex Pistols, like when... Yeah, I mean, to me, when Sid Vicious died, like after that point in time, like that is when they became much, much bigger because it was like folklore.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, they came out with the movie Sid and Nancy after that. Like,
Nancy.
It was like a big thing, that whole era of music. Like that was when I, like, just before I started playing music was like that era.
Yeah.
So I guess it was an important change in music because it was just around the time when MTV was coming out. It was not a, I don't know, it wasn't a time where I thought that music would actually take the turn that it did. I didn't think MTV would take over music. I didn't think image would take over the industry.
Yeah.
I always thought music was going to be cooler because of MTV, but it didn't happen. It never happened.
To a degree. Well, it got really cheesy quickly.
Music,
you know,
lost.
I think the hair bands really made it cheesy.
It became super obvious very quickly. Like within 4 or 5 years, I was like, "Fuck it, you gotta look good now." That was like the first thing. It's like if you don't have an image, you didn't even have to be attractive, but you had to have some kind of image. Like there were a lot of people that I thought, I'm like, yeah, they're regular musicians, but like, you know, you put on the big hair and stuff, like you said, the big hair bands and heavy metal, like. That shit was what everybody had to do almost at a time, and I thought that was kind of a negative aspect of music or popular music at the time, and I think it kind of continues to this day, but not as much. Like that's fading away, which I think is a sign of the times where actually people are going to actually just be more into music because you can't control how you fucking look, man.
Yeah.
When you come out of the fucking JJ, when you come out of the JJ,
we call it the woo woo here, but all right,
whatever. When you come out of that shit, man, you are who you are. Like, and you come out and you're fucking super talented, but your mug's all fucking busted. I'm like, well, you gotta fucking be like, you know, Dead Mouse or something. You gotta put a fucking mask on your face. Like, no, man, just let that guy be popular. But no, he, you know what he looks like to me? He looks like. What's his name from Oingo Boingo? Danny.
The lead singer from Oingo Boingo?
Elfman, Danny Elfman. The guy who does like the Simpsons. He does a lot of movie soundtrack. Danny Elfman. Like the guy, he's not a very attractive dude, but I'm like, the guy's fucking amazing as a musician. Like, why would you give a fuck what he looks like? It's not about what he looks like. Listen to what he does. Like, that guy's giving you...
Well, I think that's the way with like...
Always good shit. He's one of the baddest motherfuckers out there as far as writing songs and being interesting as an artist in music. Danny Elfman is top notch, man.
Yeah, I agree.
And he looks fucking nuts.
Yeah, but I'm right. I completely agree with you.
He kind of has the Dead Mouse thing, the buggy eye, and I'm like, hey man, whatever. I don't give a fuck what these people look like. I never knew what half of them looked like anyway when I was growing up. So that killed music for it. Just fucked up shit.
Yeah, I guess you're right. MTV definitely did do that. I think musicians... Well, there's no more MTV, really.
Well, that's
so
what I mean.
maybe that's a good thing.
It's going away. Like, people don't really know. Like, they don't have enough time now to research what a motherfucker looks like.
Nobody knows what Lady Gaga looks like.
Well, I know what she looks like.
Do you know her?
Well, no, yeah.
If I was walking down the street in, let's say, New York, and Lady Gaga walked past me, I would never know.
Well,
and actually, Madonna.
That's not in New York. That's not a hard thing.
Okay,
I've had friends walk by me and I didn't know.
All right,
New York's a little fucking sketchy because people are always like minding your own business.
Okay, all right. All right. Well, if I was walking down the street, if this is Japan, I notice everybody. But okay, but Madonna, dude, she looks different. Have you seen her new look?
Yeah, she's almost going Little Kim, man. She may have the same plastic surgeon.
I thought she was an alien. She's got this huge, big forehead coming out like this, with these big eyes, kind of like moved to the side with like this.
I feel bad, man. I feel bad.
Why? She's the same age as my mom.
No, I don't. I feel bad because they had surgery. I'm just like, oh my god. You looked fine before. I don't know why people don't think they look fine. They look okay.
I think she wants to look young or something. I don't know. Yeah,
I think there's something I never would want to hear from somebody. It's, you look better before.
Oh yeah. Before you fucked up your face.
When you've already done something permanent. I liked it before. You're like, God damn it, I just spent fucking $15,000 on this nose. Like, fuck.
15 at a zero.
Well, I know they spend a lot more money.
Holy
but why? They still look like
you could go to Korea and get it done for free.
Good. You can spend $5,000 and get the nose job that looks better than the one that fucking makes you look like a freak.
Oh my
15
god!
Years later, I don't. But to me, that's just sad. I don't know.
Yeah, Madonna was so hot in the '80s. I don't know. Her music was good.
Madonna was. I always put Madonna in this category of like, yeah, she's got great songs, she's got cool stuff, she had a great image. But
from Michigan too.
But to me, she is one of the reasons why everything is just gone to shit.
Because she was so pretty, yeah.
And and maybe it's part of the reason why she doesn't look that great now. I'm like, yeah, you created this fucking shit. This
karma?
narrative.
Is it karma?
Well, I mean, in a way, I see it as like, well, yeah, you thought that's maybe she didn't. Maybe it wasn't in her power. Maybe somebody was making her do it, which has happened in the past. But I'm like, I think she just wanted the money so bad that now she's got to live this lifestyle. And I'm like, of who you're not? That I don't like. I like musicians getting credit for musicians.
Yeah.
There's a lot of musicians out there who have been doing great things for decades.
Yeah.
They're still the same fucking motherfuckers. Like Herbie Hancock is a perfect example of a respected musician that everybody likes with and he likes playing with. And he's been around forever, dude.
Still alive?
Yeah.
Wow.
You didn't know that?
No.
Oh, man. Come on.
I'm terrible. I'm a horrible person.
Herbie Hancock is... No, you're not a horrible person. But
I try to be.
This guy is an amazing American musician. It's like everybody should be interested in what he's done. In my mind. Just because he's that class of musician. Like, he's just amazing. Everybody plays with him, likes him. He's been playing with a million fucking people for multiple decades. He's still around. He's willing to teach, willing to share. He's just a nice guy. He's awesome. What musicians basically used to be. Just people who play music and share. Like, that's like the goal. Like, the whole thing about entertainment and stuff like that, yes. That's a bonus from the musician standpoint. And Herbie Hancock is probably trying to be as entertaining as he possibly can, but to him, entertainment is just being a great musician and being able to play with whatever is happening at the highest level.
That's respectable. That's awesome.
And so
that's the way to be.
Well, he's one of those people. Like, and but he's still alive. But that's what I mean. The fact that is he still alive? Like that, I'm like, yeah, but I understand where
Dude,
people
I don't know.
may not know who's alive and who isn't alive. But
Yeah.
I'm like, some people need to be. If we're into music and we're music people, like, you got to respect some people. Like, you got to know what they've done and know who they are. Like, you know who Mozart is. You know, there's a reason why people know these people. Because people keep pushing, like, no, this motherfucker is never going to die. You know, to me, like, somebody like Herbie Hancock is in that type of a level. Like, Count Basie's on that level. Duke Ellington. These people are on a level that is very different.
That's why I'm happier on this show, man. Fucking, I'm getting schooled hardcore. Herbie Hancock, dude. Herbie Hancock. I know the name. I know the guy, but I didn't know much about him and stuff. You know. I mean, yeah. I mean, to be honest, when it comes to like, I mean, dude, I've got my style of music that I focus on. I got my style of art that I focus on and stuff. And for me to like be really successful in what I do, I kind of got to like focus on that and stuff. So my ears, like for example, Lady Gaga, I have no idea what she looks like. I know she's got like blonde hair and maybe she's tall, right?
She's not a blonde, actually. She's a brunette, but yeah, I mean, she doesn't look that. You gotta just look at her, man. Look at her in the movie. She's in that movie with Bradley Cooper, whatever. Brad.
I thought you were going to say Brad Pitt for a second. I
Brad
thought
Cooper.
you were.
No, Brad Cooper and her are in a movie together about like some like Star is Born or something like that. I think the new rendition of The Star is Born. But like you see her in that movie where she kind of has like her natural hair color a little bit closer to what she normally looked like. But she was playing music when I was living in New York, but she wasn't big at that time. But she was good. She is willing to do whatever to be popular, and I like that about her because she's actually fucking good.
No, I'm not.
That's why I like Whitney Houston and stuff. Whitney Houston's fucking dope.
Whitney Houston.
But she was willing to kind of just fucking put me out there. I want to sing these nice songs, like. But her private life was kind of fucked up. But you give people that much control and power over their own lives with that much money, like, I'm surprised more people don't get fucked up on that shit.
Wait, like, I mean, sometimes people are controlled in the music business, and sometimes people have their own freedom. And the people that are controlled, a perfect example would be Elvis, right? If you watch that Elvis docu movie with Tom Hanks, whatever, you're like, holy shit, that guy had no control of anything he did.
Well,
I mean, how factual is that?
From that perspective, I don't know how factual it is, but there's a lot of stuff in that movie that people have said it's really off.
Oh, it's like not real?
Well,
God damn it. Netflix, you lied to me again.
You know what I mean?
And your stock sucks.
I mean, I hate to burst the bubble.
Really?
If you thought it was fucking real, I'm telling you.
Yeah. You know what? The one thing that really kind of fucked me up about that movie? At the end, the guy that played Elvis wasn't really that fat. He was a little chubby, but he wasn't as fat as he could have been.
The fat suit.
Yeah, but he didn't wear the fat suit.
He kind of had the weird makeup. He didn't look quite. He looked really weird.
I wanted a fat Elvis by the end of that movie. I was like, give me the fat Elvis. Give me the fat. Where's those fucking love handles? I want to see him so close I can touch him.
What's that movie, man? I can't remember the name of the movie.
Oh, the new whale movie or something where the guy gets fat?
No. It was like it looked like the same makeup that like Arnold Schwarzenegger was wearing in Total Recall when he was like at the airport and like
he's the woman.
The fat lady suit started malfunctioning.
I have a ticket for first class.
Yeah. And like when it started coming apart, that's what that guy looked like doing Elvis when he was fat. I was like, that's really bad. Nobody looks like that.
Nobody looks like that. Yeah, I wanted a real fat Elvis. I wanted to see fucking belly buttons the size of a fucking donut. That's what I wanted. I was craving that. When I pushed play in the movie, I was like, dude, here we go. Fasten your seatbelts. It's coming. And we are back. That's right. Okay,
Sip.
yeah, we should probably sip this rum. What percentage is rum? Is it, what?
I'm sure it's like the regular 40%.
Fuck. All right. Yeah, we're definitely
I'm
going to
sure.
sip. Okay.
80 proof, but it may not be quite there. I don't have my glasses.
You want to wear my glasses? I wear reading glasses now.
40%. Bam!
Damn, dude.
80 proof.
I thought we're not talking about numbers. Okay.
Well, that's an easy one. It's 40%, it's 80 proof. Man.
40%.
How did I get there? You double the percent. There you go.
We gotta shut that door. She's gonna get in there. She's gonna cause her.
Nah, she wants to get in.
Yeah, she does. Cause
That's amazing. Like, why?
Because like when you flush the toilet, the water comes on at the top, and she loves to like go up there and like try to like play in the water. Yeah, it's like a little swimming pool. She wants
right. He's got you. He called you out.
Yeah,
I see it right now.
Yeah, the look in her eyes. She's
I love it. She's looking at me. She's like, "Oh, you think you know things about me now?" I'm like, "Well, no, he just called you out." So yeah, you're looking at me. I understand.
Sorry, Ja. I ratted you out.
I'm sorry I shut the door on you. 'Cause now you're like, what the fuck? You're not even my friend. Like, I met you, all of an hour ago, and now you're shutting doors in my face? Like that's, she's looking at me like that.
You better be careful, man. She'll give you the stink eye. She knows it.
She's already giving me the stink eye. She's like...
You did what? In my house?
I would say it, man. I would say it. Trust me. For all you black people out there, she's giving me the nigga what face. That's what she's giving me. Yes, I can say it. Don't worry.
No.
He can say it too.
No.
That's the face.
Okay, all right. Well,
she's like, oh, hell no. She's like, you're shitting me, right? You're shitting me. Like, I'm serious. She's looking at me. Look, this cat's fucking dead.
I know. She's gangster, but yeah.
Sorry for the N-word interruption.
Joshua my kitty would never say that.
She's licking herself.
She would never say. Oh, she's scratching at the door now.
Oh no, it's real.
Pandora's box is open. Oh man,
I just fucked up his podcast.
Oh no, you didn't. Yeah.
No, you can just call the podcast like Darryl drops an N-bomb.
The episode is here to support you.
All the support I need, man.
Really? You think that would give you street cred?
Your cat's giving me fucking the evil eye.
Oh, she is. She really is. If she had a cigarette, she'd run over here and put it out on you.
Bro, I'm not playing. When you walk out of here, I'm gonna fucking tap those ankles.
Yeah, she's not declawed too. You got to be careful. Yeah, those are little switchblades. Oh, I can't declaw a cat. You know, that's like ripping off fingernails. Anyway, okay. Back to. All right. And we are back. I'm not cutting that out, by the way. I'm keeping that in. Okay, all right. So right now, there's a lot of people coming to Japan, and a lot of people coming to Japan for many different reasons. And some people who are coming to Japan to move here, they may be musicians. So if somebody's a musician coming to Japan from ABC part of the world, what recommendation would you give them to be successful as a musician or as a drummer in Japan?
Oh, fuck. Well, I would say...
Big gun questions, huh?
Well, no. Are they coming to be a musician here? Are they coming to, like, play in big bands, or are they just coming to have fun?
They're coming to... All right. Most likely, they're coming here to enjoy Japan. They are a musician in their home country.
And they're looking
to get gigs, looking to start a band, looking to be somewhat successful, you know, not to be like, you know, in like a TBS or any like TV show or something.
So how easy is that, or what is my advice?
What is your advice?
My advice
for musicians coming to Japan with a working visa, teaching English at ABC company.
Ah, okay. Well, my advice would be to go to the jam sessions, like depending on which city you live in. Like there's various jam sessions that you can meet other musicians at. That to me is like a great place to start. Mm-hmm. Also, find maybe an agency that has a musicians category where they're trying to hire out musicians. Those are also great avenues here in Japan. This is here in Japan.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, 100% here in Japan.
All Tokyo basically, because I've never lived anywhere else. So mm-hmm. I mean, I'm really basing this information off my experience in Tokyo.
No, that's good. Me too.
But yeah, I mean, those two places, jam sessions, trying to get involved with some kind of an agency immediately will put you kind of out there in the world and, you know, let you meet some people that are actually kind of doing similar things, or you'll just start to see the lay of the land very quickly. And people will start to talk about other clubs like, oh, you should meet this person. And the best part about it is, I think, once you do something like that, once you start to play in an open mic situation or a jam session type situation, you'll probably meet a musician who may be better than you. You might not know it at the time, but they're somebody that has watched you and they see that you're trying to do stuff, or you had a conversation about that, and they're basically trying to point you in the right direction based on what they see in your abilities. Mm-hmm. So they're going to kind of be like, yeah, you should go to this or go to that. They might point you to all sorts of different jam sessions, but there's a lot of jam sessions here, and that's a great place to meet musicians. And from that, you'll probably find your way with playing in bands and joining up with other musicians. But if you're just starting off like that, that's my advice.
Yeah. Actually, the answer to my own question too, to a degree, I would say just go to What the Dickens. There's a lot of like live events are there. There's a lot of people that are kind of like in the loose and like direct music industry that's in What the Dickens, or that goes to what frequents What the Dickens, which is a amazing rock. No, it's not rock and roll. An amazing. It's a Lifehouse British bar in Ebisu. How would you classify it? That has great food, by the way. Amazing food.
It's a large pub that has live music. That's what.
And great food.
And it's foreign owned, so people speak English most of the time. And so if you're a foreigner, it's very comforting.
Yeah, that's true. I think that's a good place to go.
Yeah, that they have a jam session there.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, there you go. Yeah,
but they also have just live music there. So there's a lot of expats that go there that play music, and there's a lot of people who like quote unquote expat music or Western music as well. That is a great place to meet people. It's less direct, but yeah. I never found that the people that I met at What the Dickens, at least when I was here, when I first got here, that none of the people that I met there were actually people that I've done much with later, even though after I started playing here, people that I know go to What the Dickens. Like I never met anybody through that avenue as far as playing. The first time I went with the jams, it was like, but that was a while ago, so I don't know. It may be different now.
Yeah, no, a lot of my friends are in bands. Go to What the Dickens, and this is down the street. I go there quite often. God, I love their food though. Their meat pies are fucking awesome.
What the Dickens is a great place.
It's a great place. Yeah,
I just played there last week actually.
I'm gonna go there for dinner tonight. Let's get some drinks.
Great place. Okay, next. Okay. Now she's causing trouble. You know, you started this. Tell you, she gave me that fucking look. She's like, "Oh, you think
you can record? You can record? You know, this
She's
is like
you think you can ignore me? You think you can just shut the door on me and like, yeah, okay."
I think my cat's in love with you.
No, man. She was giving me that look, man.
Well, because you dissed her, man. You dissed her. Now she's pissed off at you. You know, and she knows we're recording. She's like, "Yo, fuck Darryl."
She's about to look again. Look.
Yeah.
She's like, she's listening. She's like, You're talking about me.
You came in. She's like giving you love, and she's like, "Hey, what's up?" And then you dissed her. Now she's like, "Fuck this guy. I'm not gonna fucking."
But I forgot. You never gave me her name. What's her name?
I told you, Jaja. She's named after
Jar Jar Binks.
No, Jaja Gabor. Not. No, don't even go there. Don't even go there. Joe, we're friends right now. Okay, let's just...
You called your cat Jaja Gabor. You named her Jaja.
I didn't name her Jaja, but her name is Jaja.
Jaja was like GSA or GZA? What is it? Jaja.
ZSA. Jaja.
ZSA.
And both Z's are capitalized.
Jaja Gabor. Darling.
Dude, look at her face. She's Jaja. Dude, she's got more attitude in her little pinky finger of her paw than anybody in this neighborhood, this ritzy ass neighborhood. Yeah, dude, she is hardcore.
She's listening.
Oh no, she's definitely listening. Her ears are already... Okay, let's get back to drumming. Nobody wants to hear about a Jaja.
Oh, she's like, oh wait.
Yeah, she's like, wait, well, you stop
anyway,
talking about it.
Anyway.
No,
anyway.
she's okay.
She's like, anyway, my ass.
Okay, oh, here we go. Okay, crazy gig stories.
Crazy gig stories.
Every musician's got
stories with Hammond.
Dude, we've got we've heard a lot of them.
No, I mean, here in Tokyo or just in general?
Tokyo would be great, but in general, it's fantastic.
In general, it's fantastic.
Absolutely.
There's a lot of fucking good gig stories, but like, are you looking for dangerous?
Yes.
Dangerous.
Well, it's my middle name.
No, there's always this situation that I always talk about here that it may not seem like a big deal, but I've been in a situation playing a gig here in Japan where
here we go.
The person who was in charge, well, and I guess not the person who was in charge, but the main musician, the band leader, whatever, for the event, was just a little hot around the collar about like what we needed to do you know, about our sound check or whatever, and worried about time. And when the next band, or the band that was playing first, was there and ready to sound check after us, because yes, they go last.
What are you talking about, me? No.
No.
This one time I played at Amp.
I hope not. No,
No.
but they weren't. You know, they were ready to set up, and we actually had a little delay in what the people who were working at the place ended up screwing up some equipment, stuff like that. I don't know what it was. Something happened, whatever. But we were a little bit behind schedule, so we had a little less time to rehearse or to set sound check. It's a sound check. It's not a fucking rehearsal. Anyway, the guy was upset that we didn't have enough time, and we needed more time, and he wanted to take the full time. Not because we needed to rehearse, just because he wanted to take the full time, and he was just kind of pissed off about being made to.
Japanese dude, or
I will not say the nationality. I will not say the person, but it was so wrong in my mind that it kind of fucked up my sense of how you deal with people, like as a band leader, or that, you know, the music director, whatever the fuck your position is in that type of situation. Like, it was really bad. He really made everybody uncomfortable who was in the band. And to me, that was something that made me say, you got to be careful about who you work with. Because to associate yourself with somebody like that and be like, yeah, he's going to be the guy who's going to get me this next gig because of the money or whatever. But it was like, but if he's treating people like shit, I'm like, I don't want to be associated with that.
I know who it is. Let's move forward.
Well,
First, I went through like 50 names. I was like,
if Tokyo's that small, that sucks, man.
Tokyo's that small. Be careful. Be nice to everybody, faders. Be nice to everybody. Be cool.
Faders, be nice to people.
Be nice to people.
You want to play in Japan? Just be nice.
Yeah,
There's
actually,
a lot of differences.
Yeah.
There's a lot of differences here in how people deal with shit, and it may not always be ideal, but like, just be a professional about it when it comes to loading in, loading out, dealing with shit. Like, it's just, it's much easier if you do.
Yes.
If the gig sucks, the gig sucks.
Okay, well, that was not like the crazy story I was looking for, but that's a very interesting story. Usually it's like girls, you know, like after the band, you know, they go in the back room or something. There's like naked girls there or something. We've had all sorts of crazy stories.
That's a good story. That's not a bad story. That's a good
No, well, that's what I was kind of looking for. Was like a
naked
crazy good
girls
story.
If it's crazy like that, like, well,
Or like, you know, like people almost dying or something, jumping out windows, like in a Doors concert or something.
I don't want to go there, man. You're like calling, that's...
The dark stuff? Oh, right, okay.
It's dark and nasty, man.
Well, you know. Okay.
Some people are like, why'd you tell me that story? I'm like, it was fucking hilarious to me,
That
man.
was my mom.
You were
You son of a bitch. I was a child when that happened.
I had my fucking nuts out of it. I was like, this is the way it was. Like, that was the story. He asked for a story.
And that's how Tomoko gave birth to Taka. It happened in the dressing room.
You
heard about that story. Okay, next question. Okay, all right, so sometimes we do this. Okay, 1 to 3 questions you can ask to me.
I can ask.
Yes, because I've been asking you all sorts of questions. So now the tables are turned. You can ask me a question, so if you want.
So this is episode 686.
686, yeah. Yes.
When did you realize this is something you shouldn't stop doing? Because I'm sure you contemplated it.
Oh, yeah, of course. I think I contemplated stopping after my first co-host quit. I've had 20, by the way.
What day was that?
It was episode number 113. 111 or... No, it must have been 113 or 12, I think.
So, bam, we're about 5 times past that. This is good. Next question.
Okay, yep, next question.
What brought you to Japan?
Everybody knows that.
Originally.
Money!
I don't know. I don't know that. Or maybe I do and I've forgotten.
Okay, long story short, when I was living in San Francisco...
It's a segue question, so be careful.
I had 2 Japanese roommates, and through them I met a lot of Japanese friends. And some of those friends were Japanese DJs, and I was a DJ, and I built a Japanese Western DJ community in San Francisco called Melting Pot. And a whole lot of other stuff is involved. And long story short, because of my really good friend Taka, I came to Japan. All right, so what's the question on top of that?
Wait.
You know Taka?
Taka brought you to Japan because you were doing a hybrid of Japanese American events or something like this, or
Oh no, I was doing that, but those events. Well, I was still doing those events when.
That's not my next question, but
Okay, no, that's why I'm careful with my answer.
I'm getting. I got lost in that last.
No. My story is complicated and deep. It's like 5 stories on top of one. You know, it's like Pulp Fiction.
But that's the catalyst. The reason why you came was because of Taka.
Well, no, I had a lot of Japanese friends, and a lot of my Japanese friends in San Francisco moved back to Japan. And San Francisco, like I just wanted to leave San Francisco because of multiple different reasons. And I decided to come to Japan for 3 to 6 months, maybe a year or something. So I stayed at my best friend Taka's house. I did a homestay with his parents, and I came here. But my plan eventually, in the back of my head, was to come back to the United States.
And that was how many years ago?
That was 2002. But the first time I came to Japan was 1998. So I already came to Japan like several times before 2002. So I already knew what to expect when I came here.
But you haven't left since 2002. Well, you haven't moved anywhere else since then.
No. I only went back to
stayed
America maybe a handful of times since then. That's why I'm kind of out of the loop when I talked about Herbie Hancock.
Which takes me to my third question.
You're like, how do you not know Herbie Hancock?
No.
Dude, I live in Japan, dude. Dude, there's people here that don't even know that Elvis is a real person.
So you were, you said 1998 you came, but
I was
you're like 20.
I was like 4 years old.
24, 25. When
I had training wheels on my car.
No, first time, like when you came here, like maybe around that age.
1990. When I came here, I was 19, turning 18. Yeah. It was crazy. Tokyo was a different country. It was a different universe. Tokyo was not the Tokyo that you see now. Like Dogonzaka Street was fucking dangerous as fuck back then.
First time I came here was 2001.
Oh wow.
2001, 2000.
Then you know, man, fucking Shibuya was a different animal back then.
It was. I never really thought about it.
With the Yamambas and the Gadus and the Sentagai guys and
But I didn't live here, so I just visited here. I was always coming back, so I didn't live here.
Yeah, that's cool though.
Yeah, it was definitely different, for sure.
It was way cooler, way fucking cooler back in the day. If I had a DeLorean, I would go back in like the mid '90s and relive it. It was so fucking dope.
DeLorean?
If I had a skateboard that had a flux capacitor on it.
That shit crazy. I was like, hey, DeLorean, why do you need a DeLorean? Like, DeLorean was a car.
Yeah, well, they had the flux capacitor.
If
I had a flux capacitor on this drink if I had a flux capacitor on this drink, I'd send it to 1985.
That's so fucking funny that the DeLorean is, like, associated with time travel.
Isn't that crazy?
Well, anyway.
Yes.
So, did I ask my third question? I don't think I asked my third question.
Something about sushi. I don't know.
No, but like, so you've been here since you were a teenager, basically. So that kind of, I thought.
I came here when.
But I thought it was a little bit later. So I guess my next question is how do you think? Like, do you think Japan is actually kind of taken over? As far as like your cultural way, your cultural
identity,
way of life, or identity. You think Japan's kind of taken a hold of that because you're kind of like a serious hybrid at this point, because you probably lived here almost as long as you haven't lived here.
Yeah, it's at that point now, huh?
You're almost there. So to me, how has that affected how you create, how you live creatively, and not how you get along in Japanese culture, because we all know how we have to fucking do that shit as foreigners, because that's just something. But creatively, how do you feel yourself? Like, how are you figuring out this
creatively?
Yeah, like artistically, how are you figuring out this landscape after spending half your life not here and doing things creatively, and now you're here, and it's almost been just as long as when you weren't here, where probably more than longer you've been creative, because you've been an adult this whole time, but when you were young, you were not doing too much. But when you were living in the States...
Oh, I did a lot of crazy shit when I was in the States.
And you probably spent 10, 15 years being super creative in the States, but now you've been here 20 years. You know
when I first came to Japan, the interesting thing was I loved it as a creative. I mean, when I first came here, I was a DJ, to be honest. And I was organizing drum and bass events, and I was DJing and stuff in many different clubs. And that's before I started doing live painting and all my artwork and stuff. But I loved it because, like, I was isolated. I loved the isolation, right? I mean, when I would like go to like, let's say a drum and bass event, like let's say like drum and bass sessions or something at Womb or something at Yellow or whatever, I would go there, and if I was DJing, I was like the only like international DJ, and I was the only international DJ playing drum and bass I could fucking scratch good, right? And so could scratch well. See, I'm losing my English. So. I scratch groovy, man.
No,
but anyway,
you said good. Most people make that mistake, man. That's an easy mistake.
But anyway, yeah, I embraced the isolation. I thought the isolation added to my creativity. Okay. And then now that isolation's gone, and I think like with some of my businesses,
the isolation's gone.
Well, because I mean, if I go to a drum and bass club, I mean, there's so many like tourists there. Now, I mean, dude, like fucking last night at my club Amp, so many tourists were coming in and shit. It's just like now, like the tourists, like there's very little isolation. And then like, I mean, the thing is like, I mean, at that time, that's something that I needed and something that I wanted and craved. But at this point in time, I don't really mind. Now I'm at a different level, and now actually I enjoy kind of like where Tokyo's at, and I enjoy where Japan's at, and I think that's cool. But the thing is, at that time when I first came here, I think that was cool, and that catapulted me to where I needed to be to the person who I am now. If that makes sense. Does it make sense? I don't know.
No,
I'm like a 6-pack deep and a couple of these Havanas. So if that makes sense, that's totally cool. Those are some great questions, brother. Come by, man. Dude, fucking great time. All right. Now, I want to plug what you are doing in the future. You've got a lot of gigs coming up, and I want to plug those. 3 huge gigs, actually.
Well, I just found out that, this is the way things work here, which is interesting, because next Friday...
Yep.
Well, okay, let's start here.
Okay.
So if we're going to promote me...
I would love to promote you. Hell yeah, let's do it.
On Tuesdays and Thursdays, I have regular gigs. On Tuesdays, I play in Hiroo.
I fucking love Hiroo. Great place.
So there's a club there called Havana 1950, which is a vintage retro Cuban club. Yep. But I play with some people there, and we do like Spanish rumba flamenca type music.
Oh, very cool.
Very cool. The singer's amazing. This guy, Jorge Diaz. It's nice. Nice. So that's every Tuesday. Mm-hmm. Give or take some Tuesdays, but mostly every Tuesdays. On Thursdays, I play in Roppongi at this club, the club that you went to.
That secret hush hush club whose name we cannot say.
It's not so secret hush hush, but it's like kind of like a members club, but it's a lounge, and they're trying to bring back live music there and stuff like that. So
can we plug them? Let's plug them because
RJ and Roppongi. It's really close to a club called R2, which probably a lot of people know, but it's a small club on the second floor in a building, kind of catty cornered.
Very cool
R2's
place.
Entrance. It's
for me, when we came there and stuff, the way my friend introduced it, Reggie, basically he's like, dude, it's a secret club. It's super secret. It's hard to get in and stuff, So we went there. I was like, wow, this is awesome. Cool. Daryl!
It's a cool place, man.
It's a super cool place. Dude, all the staff there is like really friendly. It's like a family-owned place, too.
It's basically like a family. So, but
they're really cool.
If you get like 40 people in there, it's fucking nuts. Like, it's crowded.
I can imagine. Yeah, their shots are big. The drinks are strong. It's a great place.
It's not a big place, but it's a great place. Like,
I love that place. It was cool. Great music.
It's a fun place to be. Mm-hmm. So those are the Tuesday, Thursday gigs that I do every week. Mm-hmm. But next week, besides Tuesday and Thursday, I'm also going to be playing Friday, supposedly. This gig is supposed to happen on Friday, and the place catty-cornered from RJ, R3.
R3?
Just downstairs from R2. A friend of mine wants me to play this show that they're having, some event. And he came to RJ and saw us playing, and he was like, "You guys should play my gig next week." And I'm like, "Okay." Like, we know the guy, but anyway, that might be the first thing that's happening next week.
Cool.
So that would be Friday or March 31st. But then on the 1st, that same group of people is playing down the street. So we're playing at this place called All of Me Club. 7 o'clock, 7:15, something like that. And that's kind of like a jazz. We're going to be doing a little bit different stuff there. And then April 2nd, I'm playing a beer festival with some friends of mine in Shimokitazawa.
Shimokita.
There's a craft beer festival.
Cool.
I'll be playing with the Brewtones, I think. But I think it's just the Nikki G trio on that. But Nikki G, Kenji Oyama, and myself, the Nikki G trio, or the Brewtones. We're going to play there April 2nd. And then on April 3rd, I have my debut band.
Oh!
In Shinjuku. So my new band called Construction is playing April 3rd at this kind of studio venue type place called Gyoen Sound in Shinjuku.
Sweet. Tell us about that.
That's like a whole new thing. Like I'm trying to put together basically electronic music and live music, or live elements of music in the same space. Not like how hip hop artists basically have bands playing their hip hop stuff live, but something similar to that. So it's basically music that's either attributed to or based solely off of like digital beats and things like that. And I call it Nexa because I put it in an AI fucking tool, like, to tell me what this thing is that
An AI tool? It's like, turn up the pitch, bitch. You're like, oh, turn up the pitch. All right,
came
whatever.
up with this name Nexa.
More
which I thought
bass.
was cool.
Oh shit! All right, it tells you what to do. So it's like it's kind of like what's the thing? The guy that goes like this.
No. It doesn't have anything to do with the music. It's just it's just what the genre of the music is.
Oh, okay.
Because I couldn't come up with
a conductor.
something
So it's
to
not like
describe.
a digital conductor that tells you what to do, right?
No, hell no.
No.
Nothing like that. We're gonna be doing all this shit live, but basically the music, I think it needed a name, so I basically asked the AI tool to give me a name for what this is. And
you asked an AI tool to give you a name, and it gave you, what was the name?
Nexa, Nexa.
All right, that's pretty good though, actually. All right, cool.
And it's or Indo-Jazztronica. So basically
Indo-Jazztronica? That's even better.
I put those together. So Nexa is Indo-Jazztronica. And that's basically what we're playing. So it's like an industrial
oh my god
take on jazz, improvisation.
AI is so good.
But electronics are like heavily involved in it. But it may not always be something that we're doing electronic based at the time, but it comes from that.
That's pretty amazing.
Sampling beats and things like that. Because that's what people are into right now. And I think that...
But sampling beats? They've been doing that for ages.
Well, no, but the production that goes into that type of music, like people who want to come in with like dance music, like...
Yeah.
You're not getting that in a live band situation. But if we use that type of basis to play with as musicians, then we're basically able to bridge that gap with the people who are that into that. Because some people can't. I don't think they can go to a club.
Whoa.
It happened. I got too comfortable.
You get too comfortable and things break. Hey, Ja's still hanging out. My neighbors are gonna love you. I was gonna give you snacks to give it. Hey, Josh, come here. Take that. There you go. She's got some snacks.
There it is.
Oh, you're breaking all of them?
No, I'm trying to keep that one up. But anyway, there we go.
Oh, there we go. It's perfect. All
I
right.
got too comfortable.
No, it's okay. Yeah, don't get comfortable at Studio Got Faded Japan.
But
things get broken.
That's what we have to do. Like, I have to continue bringing musicians into the fold for like the stuff that like I feel like they're getting brought or they're being taken out of. Like I feel like like we were talking about this before, like with like the 90s and when music you're not gonna get a lot of drummers who are like influenced by Madonna.
Yeah, no. I've never heard about that.
Well, because the
yeah.
drums are not important in that music. It's like, yeah, you can play those beats. But what that guy played is just repetition. It's like you can do something off of that if you're a musician, and that's what you would want to do because you're like, I want to make it more interesting because this is just strictly for radio, strictly for listening as a basic song, top 40 shit. That doesn't inspire a lot of. These days doesn't inspire a lot of musicians.
No, nobody's inspired by that.
I want to inspire music.
That's awesome. Dude, you got a friend now.
Oh, no, she's good.
Yeah, she's cool. She forgave you.
Because I'm a cat. She knows I'm a cat.
Yeah.
I'm a Leo. Yeah, there you go.
Oh, there's a lot of love in this apartment right now. Oh, dude, look at that. Oh, shit. Yeah, the first thing I asked... No, my cat is fucking awesome as shit, dude. She fucking is so cool.
I've had a few cats in my life. Cats are great.
You like dogs?
I do like dogs.
I like dogs, too. I like dogs. I like all animals. All animals are cool.
I would prefer a cat, but I'll take a dog.
Oh, see, at this age, you know?
I prefer a cat, but I'll take a dog, you know what I'm saying? There you go. What you got now? Need a pet.
I'll tell you what, man. Dude, go for it.
I used to have a parakeet, man.
Dude, I had a ferret.
Fish. I've had all sorts of animals.
I had sharks, too.
Geckos.
Never had geckos. Yeah. Oh, God.
I don't think I had the gecko. I mean, the gecko was there. But
I had roaches at my last apartment, but I wouldn't call them pets. No, but dude, the thing is with dogs in this neighborhood.
Abner, his name's Abner.
Yeah, I'm glad.
Your roach, his name is Abner.
I don't mind. Fuck my roach. But anyway, whatchamacallit, the people that walk around this neighborhood early in the morning with dogs look so fucking pissed off.
I don't like those people.
Yeah,
pissed
well,
off
it's
dog
like
walkers?
5 o'clock in the morning, they're like, walking their dogs.
Angry dog walkers. Oh, look at you. Yeah. I thought you're like kind of nursing it. I gotta darken it up, man.
Yeah, we're good.
You had a lot of ice in there.
Well,
that's why I didn't choose that glass. It's so deceptive. It's big.
Oh, you think? Wait. So
no,
this is good or bad? It's massive. That's a lot of.
You want to fill it up to like there. Like this glass is like all down here, man. That's a big glass, man.
So I'm drinking more than you?
Of course.
I feel like I am. I feel pretty. I feel pretty toasted.
You feeling toasty?
I'm feeling toasted. Oh my goodness.
But do you like it? The Havana.
It's been a while since I've had rum. Especially Havana Club. Why is it called Havana Club? It's like a group. And we are back. Darryl, before we leave, I want to know more about construction and your event happening on the 3rd.
It's in Shinjuku, near, I guess, Gyoen whatever, the station. And it's at Gyoen Sound. So if you search on Google for Gyoen Sound, you'll be able to type in English, but you're going to get some kanji and katakana. But it's a venue. They got beers. We're doing a live event, which is basically a new style of improvisational, jazz-based electric music. So it's not going to be necessarily jazz the way you might think about it, but we're trying to use sampling and a lot more modern elements with this type of music. So it's
cool.
It's a new idea, and we got a nice, cool band. We got a 5-piece band that's going to be playing. We might have some MCs if we can get some people who are willing to come down and just spit some verses.
I know some people.
Yeah, so, but it's a $3,000 suggested donation, so it's not, you don't have to pay to come. It's open.
Wait, did you say $3,000?
Oh, I did. I said $3,000, yes, because it's 3,000 yen.
Oh, okay.
and I just always think that way. But no, 3,000 yen is what, $30 or whatever.
Yeah.
But 3,000
it's like $25.
You know, I got to pay for the venue. I got to pay for the people. So it would be nice if people could could chip in for that. But
could pay $3,000. It'd be pretty sweet, but 3,000 yen.
$3,000 would be great because then everything's paid for.
Everyone's just like, fuck, dude. It's doing.
Then it's great.
It's going to charity, right?
And it's great. Somebody gives me $3,000, everything's fucking good. Nobody has to do shit. Like, this guy paid. The bill's paid for.
I hope somebody listening to this podcast heard that. And they're like,
well, there you go.
3,000, done.
I don't have a Patreon. I got PayPal, but whatever. But that's not the important thing. Mm-hmm. The important thing is that I'm trying to do this thing with music that I've been trying to do for a long time.
That's cool, man.
So this is the first manifestation, I guess, in a live format. So we'll try to get some cameras there. We'll try to get some interesting lighting if we can, so to make it a little more interesting if we're going to do videos. But yeah, we'll see how it goes. It's live. It's originals and maybe some covers, but mostly originals. And we're probably going to put together about 6 to 8 songs in 2 sets, so about 3 each. And you can come and check it out. I hope you would come.
Yeah, I'm definitely going to be there. Fuck yeah, dude. Absolutely. And I will definitely donate 3,000 yen. Dali yen. Delarian.
$3,000. Everybody should give us $3,000.
Yeah, Delarian. Yeah, there we go.
Sanzen. It is
Sanzen Delarian. We're too fucking drunk.
I should just speak Japanese from now on, and then I won't make the mistakes.
Dude,
I should, no 3,000 in Japanese.
I should just not speak at all. If I stop talking, I don't make any mistakes.
It's funny. Like I haven't really done a podcast with a video because it's always just been voice. And I'm trying to figure out.
You got a good voice.
I'm trying to figure out where I should look.
The camera's over there. No, I'm joking. It's right there.
Well, no, that's the thing. Like, because I can't see it. Even if I knew it was like near, it was like a green light. I'm assuming it's close to there.
Yeah.
But I'm like, I can't just stare at that green light.
I don't stare at the green light.
No,
dude.
it's just weird.
I'm mostly looking at you. Because I'm talking with you, so I'm like looking at you.
And that's funny. So like, yeah, I'd rather turn this way. Like I'm like, oh, there's a camera.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, like, when I look at the camera thing, I just look, because there's an image of me, I look at myself. I don't know why. Does it mean I'm a prima donna or a narcissist or some shit? I don't know.
It's what you're familiar with. You're like, wait, is that what you're like? That's what I look like backwards.
Oh, I don't want to look at that guy. I'm like, who the fuck is this? What, is it backwards? I don't think it's
backwards.
Like,
this is... No, because you're on the right. If somebody was looking at us, you would be
I'm
where I am.
No, but I'm on the left. So I'm on the left.
Yeah, you would be like.
No, I'm on the right.
That's what I mean. You would be.
Oh, it's backwards.
If we were looking at us, you would be over here.
Oh, dude, fuck this Havana Club fucking rum shit, dude. It's fucking with my brain, dude. Thank God we're not talking about numbers.
I put a little something in there for you.
Oh, jeez Louise, great. Oh, gosh.
7 years plus a little something.
Something. Yeah. Well, I hope it's water. Something I need to drink right now, dude, for how drunk I am. Oh, gosh.
I had fun, man. I'm glad I actually got to do this.
I'm glad you actually got to come on here.
Good questions.
Oh, great questions. Yeah, I was just talking, but Darryl Baker, thank you so much for coming on to Got Faded Japan and being here in the Got Faded Japan studio and hanging out with the Got Faded Japan faders. We all appreciate it, and we know exactly where to go in the future and how to support you. Can you give me all your links for all your future shows and if you got you've got a Patreon, you don't have a Patreon, but a future Patreon or PayPal or any which way that the faders can support you, that'd be awesome. Or ways for people to contact you.
Katsuo's future Patreon.
I don't know what that means, but let's do it.
That's just fucking hilarious. No, my nickname is Katsuo. Katsuo's future Patreon.
Oh, there we go.
That's where we're going. No, I don't have a Patreon account. No, I don't have anything like that. But I do have gigs coming up.
You do?
Yes. Tuesdays, Thursdays. So Tuesdays, I have gigs in Havana in Hiroo at Havana 1950. Thursdays,
fucking love that place.
RJ and Roppongi on Thursday nights.
That place is awesome too.
That's a late night thing, so we start around
late night is good times.
They got karaoke. It's fucking dope though. It's fucking fun. And
they do have karaoke. That's right.
That's what that place is. Yeah, it's fun, man.
Yeah, it's a great place. Yeah,
and then
good people.
On the 31st. I'll probably be playing at R3. April 1st, I'll be playing at All of Me Club. And the 2nd, I'll be playing at the beer festival in Shimokitazawa.
Fuck yeah!
And then April 3rd is the debut of Construction, which is my new project. And I would love to see a lot of people there and enjoying and just checking it out because it's new and it could be way more interesting than I'm even giving it credit for because it's going to be open.
Be. Don't say could, say would.
It's going to be open.
Will.
No, it's going to be open, so we don't know what's going to happen, but I hope you stop by and enjoy the experience. And
I'll definitely be there.
I'm looking forward to it.
I'll definitely. Kampai, man.
Kampai, motherfucker.
Darryl, thank you so much for being on the show, man. It was fucking a great episode, man. And Faders, definitely check him out. Check out everything, all his links. Go to all his events and stuff. They're always a great time. I've been to his shows. They're great. I've booked him. He's amazing. It's always a spectacular time. You can't go wrong. And on that note, thank you so much for tuning into this very special episode of Got Faded Japan. And thank you so much.
Thank you.
Yeah, man.
I appreciate being here, man. That was awesome.
Yeah. Now let's really drink. Enough of this fucking rum pussy shit.
We've been pacing ourselves. So.
Yeah. Let's go to the bar.
Cheers, green light.
Yeah. All right. See you later, faders.